The Science of Self-Discipline. How to Build Habits That Stick. Psychology Secrets. Ever wonder why some people seem to effortlessly stick to their goals while you struggle? You've probably seen it before. One friend wakes up at 5 a.m., works out, eats clean, crushes their work, and still has time to read at night. Meanwhile, you're hitting snooze, skipping workouts, and promising yourself that next week will be different. Here's the truth. It's not because your friend has more willpower than you. It's because they understand something you don't. The psychology of lasting discipline. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact science of self-discipline, how to shift your identity, design your environment, fuel your motivation, and recover when you slip up. I'll share real stories, practical examples, and strategies that you can apply starting today. By the end, you'll know exactly how to build habits that don't just last a few days, but stick for life. Let's begin. The identity shift. Becoming your disciplined self. Most people think discipline is about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. That's wrong. Discipline starts with identity. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people trying to quit smoking. The first one says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The second says, "No thanks, I don't smoke." Who do you think is more likely to succeed? Obviously the second person. Because the first still identifies as a smoker who's battling temptation. The second has already shifted their identity, they're no longer someone who smokes. This shift from doing to being is everything. If you see yourself as someone who does discipline, it feels like a struggle. If you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, it becomes second nature. Think about athletes. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't have to force himself to train. Training is who he is. Serena Williams doesn't try to be disciplined, it's her identity. Now, how do you actually make the shift? Psychologists talk about the self-efficacy spiral. Small wins build belief in your abilities. That belief drives bigger actions, and those actions reinforce your identity. For example, if you want to become a reader, start by reading just one page a night. That small win tells your brain, "I am someone who reads." Once your brain believes that, you'll naturally do more. Before you know it, you'll be reading entire books. You can also reinforce this identity with daily rituals. Journaling your wins, setting a morning routine, or celebrating small achievements are ways of telling yourself, "See, I am disciplined." Over time, these rituals stack up, and discipline becomes part of who you are. Engineering your environment for effortless habits. Here's another secret. Discipline is not just about what's inside you, it's about what's around you. If you're constantly relying on willpower, you're doomed to fail. Willpower is like a phone battery, it drains throughout the day. But if you design your environment, discipline becomes effortless. Take the example of eating healthy. If your kitchen is full of chips, sodas, and ice cream, no amount of willpower will save you at midnight when you're hungry. But if your fridge is stocked with fruits, vegetables, and water, suddenly the good choice becomes the easy choice. That's called frictionless discipline. Another way to engineer discipline is through cues. Our brains are wired to respond to triggers. Put your running shoes by your bed, and they become a cue to exercise. Place a book on your pillow, and it becomes a cue to read before sleep. Over time, these cues build powerful habit loops. And let's not forget the power of community. Humans are social creatures. If you surround yourself with people who are disciplined, their habits will rub off on you. This is called social scaffolding. Want to exercise more? Join a fitness group. Want to study consistently? Find an accountability partner. Want to eat healthier? Share your progress with friends who encourage you. Barack Obama used environment design in a different way. As president, he wore only two suit colors, blue or gray. To reduce decision fatigue. By removing small choices, he saved his willpower for bigger decisions. That's a simple example of how designing your environment can make discipline easier. The psychology of sustainable motivation. Now, let's talk about motivation. Motivation is tricky because it doesn't last. We've all felt that January 1st burst of energy, only to see it disappear by February. So how do disciplined people stay consistent? They understand the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation comes from outside rewards. Money, praise, recognition. It works for a while, but it fades. For example, if you go to the gym just to look good for a wedding, what happens after the wedding? You stop. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, comes from within. It's tied to your values and identity. For instance, a father might work out not for abs, but because he wants to be healthy enough to play with his kids. A student might study, not just for grades, but because she sees herself as a future doctor who saves lives. That deeper motivation doesn't fade, it grows stronger. This is what I call the why amplifier. Ask yourself, why does this goal matter to me at the deepest level? If you want to save money, is it just for luxury? Or is it to give your family security? If you want to start a business, is it just for money? Or is it to create freedom and impact? When your goal connects to your deepest why, discipline stops being a chore and becomes a calling. And here's another secret. Disciplined people embrace discomfort. They don't see discomfort as suffering, they see it as growth. Think of muscles. They only grow when you push them beyond comfort. Discipline works the same way. The discomfort of waking up early, resisting temptation, or pushing through study sessions is proof that you're growing stronger. Take David Goggins, the Navy SEAL known for his mental toughness. He runs ultramarathons, pushes his body to the limit, and preaches one message: get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's the mindset that builds unshakable discipline. Mastering the art of relapse recovery. But here's the truth no one tells you. No matter how disciplined you are, you will slip up. You'll skip workouts. You'll break your diet. You'll procrastinate. And that's okay. What separates the disciplined from the undisciplined isn't perfection, it's recovery. Enter the 1% rule. Progress isn't about being perfect. It's about small, consistent improvement. Missing one day doesn't ruin your habit. Quitting because you missed one day does. Here's how to recover. Step 1. Forgive yourself. Beating yourself up only makes relapse worse. Step 2. Analyze what went wrong. Did you skip the gym because your workout clothes weren't ready? Fix that. Step 3. Get back on track immediately. Don't wait for Monday, don't wait for the new year. Restart now. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. Most people would have quit. But he didn't. He turned that setback into motivation, worked harder, and became a legend. That's what disciplined people do. They turn failure into feedback. And remember the long-term vision. Discipline is not about instant results. It's about playing the long game. Think about bamboo. For years, it barely grows above the ground. But underneath, its roots are spreading. Then suddenly, it shoots up feet in just weeks. Your discipline is the same. It may feel slow now, but one day, your results will explode. So, let's wrap this up. The science of self-discipline comes down to 4 pillars. First, identity. Shift from doing to being. Second, environment. Design your surroundings to make discipline easy. Third, motivation. Connect to your deep why and embrace discomfort. Fourth, recovery. Accept failure, bounce back fast, and stay focused on the long-term vision. If you master these 4, discipline won't be something you force. It will be who you are. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the one habit you're trying to build right now? Share it in the comments. Maybe it's exercising, maybe it's studying, maybe it's saving money. I'll reply and give you a tip to help you stick with it. If this video gave you value, hit that like button, subscribe for more psychology-backed strategies, and share this with someone who needs a discipline boost. And remember, discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. With the right psychology, you can build habits that don't just last weeks or months, they last a lifetime.